Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please grab your seats as we're about to get started. We're absolutely delighted that you are all here. Welcome at this forum, which is all about cooperation. These days mark the ending of the INTERREG 4C program as we move into the new program. It marks the start of INTERREG Europe. A warm welcome. We're delighted that you are all here with us up until tomorrow. And a special welcome to our online viewers throughout Europe. Over 1,000 people online who are here with us. I'd like to ask all of you here live to wave at the people at home or in the offices, eager to find out more about INTERREG Europe, this new program. What is it all about? You will hear it all this morning, and then tomorrow we will build upon that. My name is Erik Pekel, and I'm a conference journalist from the Netherlands. It is my job to connect people with each other and with each other's ideas. And that is also what this forum is all about. It is about finding new partners, about exchanging ideas and vision, and it's about cooperation, of course. That's why the theme of this conference is Europe, let's cooperate. Maybe we can practice that later all together, okay? So, to open our forum, we have some welcome addresses. The INTERREG 4C and INTERREG Europe program are co-financed by the European Union Regional Development Fund. And I'm delighted to invite Dr. Wolfgang Streitenberger on the stage. You are the advisor to the Director General for Regional and Urban Policy in the European Commission. Please, a warm applause for Dr. Wolfgang Streitenberger.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear INTERREG partners, I'm very happy and honored to represent today our new commissioner who had initially planned to be with you for this important event, since she considered it crucial from an EU perspective to strengthen cooperation and joint activities among European countries and citizens. But she has been invited by the European Parliament to participate in a meeting today. Therefore, she's very sorry not to be able to be with you. I'm very impressed by the number of participants, which proves that exchange of experience and of knowledge is becoming a usual practice. And this is promising for our policy. As you know well, we are now at the beginning of the 2014-2020 period, and we have launched a reformed cohesion policy which is more strategic, thematically focused and results-oriented. It provides the right framework for effective investments in our regions, and it contributes to the goals of Europe 2020 strategy. Currently, we are in a decisive stage as we are putting in place the right conditions for spending the funds. Negotiations are ongoing to finalize the programming documents. More than 1/3 of the programs will be adopted by the end of this year, and another third early next year. A first analysis of the partnership agreements and operational programs gives very encouraging signs about how our reform policy will be translated into practice. For example, it is already clear that around 125 billion euro is allocated to supporting business, research, ICT and the low-carbon economy. This represents an increase of more than 20% compared to the 2007-2013 period, while we will see a decrease of similar magnitude for infrastructure support. Of course, we do continue to support infrastructure development in member states, but the difference in this period is that we put more focus and apply more strategic selection of projects that really contribute to smart and sustainable growth. It is now made clear that the aim is to create sustainable business opportunities and jobs for people in their regions. This will also help to deal with the brain drain problem, for instance. People will stop migrating if they find opportunities where they live. Then our new cohesion policy provides, of course, the specific measures to promote employment, improve people's qualification, and reduce poverty. The volume of investments allocated to the low-carbon economy is also encouraging. For this specific area, our reform has introduced minimum mandatory thresholds for member states, and on the basis of this alone, the minimum allocation would have been some 23 billion euro. However, energy efficiency and renewable energy sources have become even more important in the current situation, and as a result, we now have more than doubled the amount allocated to supporting the transition to the low-carbon economy. But we should not get carried away. Encouraging as these signs may be, they are still commitments on paper. It is important that we get on with the implementation of programs and start investing in projects that will translate these commitments into practice. I would like to take this opportunity to share with you my reflections on some few crucial challenges for the future. The enhancement of the administrative capacity and of public authorities and stakeholders at local and regional level is one of them. They are the ones implementing projects on the ground. This is not so much about money, but about putting in place the appropriate structures and giving them the means to realize their tasks in an optimal way. And it is also building effective partnerships at all levels. Cohesion policy provides funds and opportunities for building a modern, transparent, meritocratic public administrations. This helps also to create an environment of trust which is attractive for foreign direct investments. Ladies and gentlemen, our policy is, as you know, based on shared management. This approach has forged strong relationships not only between the European Commission and the Member States, but even more importantly, of national, regional and local authorities with stakeholders. Through this principle of shared management and the partnership approach, the cohesion policy is able to deliver on the ground, mobilize resources and create ownership. This inclusive approach and the partnership principle have been behind the success of our cohesion policy in general and of our interregional programs. And some of our best projects and some of our most efficient networks have their origins in an interregional program. INTERREG Europe, in particular, can play an important role to improve our policy. There is a big difference between the previous INTERREG 4C program that you are all familiar with and the new INTERREG program. This new program has been assigned by the regulations a simple but very ambitious objective, namely to contribute to improving cohesion policy. This is a real challenge, but it will be one of the added values of this program. It is not by accident that the main thematic objectives of our cohesion policy, namely innovation, SME, low-carbon economy, are also the main objectives of the INTERREG Europe program. This will contribute to creating more connections and more synergies between the national, regional programs and the INTERREG program. As a consequence, the implementation of projects in INTERREG Europe will have to associate more closely managing authorities, policymakers, politicians who are in charge of national and regional policies and programs. This is a new way of working from a national and regional perspective, taking advantage of good practices already experienced in other regions in Europe or even outside, building on exchange of good experience and practice by transferring them into national, regional and local policies in order to improve those. But INTERREG Europe also offers an opportunity to develop even new joint projects through the implementation of genuine joint interregional projects, such for instance as new clusters in a sector where pooling forces can make Europe more competitive. Let's take an example. Smart specialization is one of the key elements of the new cohesion policy. It is obviously connected to innovation, but also to the other objectives of our program, entrepreneurship and support to SME, but also more broadly to many environmental issues. And I want to highlight in all that the interregional dimension can and must play an essential role. One of the really new approaches introduced by smart specialization in cohesion policy is to look at growth opportunities not only in terms of place-based potentials, but also in terms of a region's competitive position in international value chains. This value chain perspective is the key to allowing regional research and business communities to specialize in the part they are best at, and thus increasing opportunities for business. At the same time, this will help to amplify the work done in individual regions, and it will allow to exploit more fully the European single market potential through upgrading regional clusters to dynamic trans-regional clusters. We would like to see in future more of strategic cooperations, which aim at co-creating new cross-border value chains and co-investing in pilots and demonstrators based on systematic mapping of capabilities and matching of partners. We will put emphasis on this during implementation, in particular through the future INTERREG programs. To do so, you will have at your disposal an INTERREG program with new tools. I will not go in further detail since we have experts here and a dedicated secretariat of the program who will later on present them in detail to you. Concluding, I would like to say a few words about one of the innovations of this program, about the new policy learning platforms. We have big expectations regarding these new tools that will hopefully facilitate your activities and your cooperation within your regions with the other partners I was referring already. We hope you will find in those policy learning platforms easily accessible and useful information, new ideas, new potential contacts and partners, and inspiration for developing new ideas, new projects, and improving your policies, but also our common cohesion policy. We know that the INTERREG Europe program is very specific in its goals and achievements, but it nevertheless has proved how popular it is, and your massive presence today is a clear confirmation of its future. It has already delivered good results in the past, but we want to make it an even stronger tool in the future to make you and Europe more efficient in the worldwide competition. This is what I wish to you all, as well as inspiring discussions and prolific exchanges today and tomorrow. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your warm words, your enthusiasm, and your continued support of the INTERREG programs, Dr. Wolfgang Streitenberger.